Jamie blinks down at the visitors curiously, while he dangles from the ceiling. His coiled tail gripping on a solid rectangular light fixture loosens, so that he descends enough to share direct eye contact with the Terran man. Whoa, that's safe for him to be doing? Jackie inquires. Seven nods their cranium. Indeed. As far as we are aware, this is typical behavior for his species, the bot reassures, before looking at the two girls hiding behind their father. Alright, if you say so, Jackie grants before clearing his throat and giving the Manarian a friendly wave. Morning, kiddo, how's it going? He asks. Jamie tilts his head and opens his wings to stretch them out from the bundle he had himself in. After a good long impressive stretch, he smiles. Morning, he says in a giddy squeal that summons Room from another room to come lumbering in and sit to inspect the scene. The twins look over and share a glimmer of excitement through their unease upon seeing the large puppy dog, though they both jump in surprise when the Manarian boy suddenly drops down and with a flap of his wings manages to land gently next to the animal. He starts to snuggle the stoically patient animal, mumbling near nonsense. SJ looks up from the bed while they are figuring out how their new digital drawing device works. Seven and Chuck have helped previously for the setup, but their brush size is currently way too small, and the place to change the size is not what they thought it is. Taking a break from their endeavour, they set it down and scurry off the bed and out the door to greet the new arrivals. Ah, there's the other kiddo. Good morning, SJ, Jackie greets. Hello, the Wataf replies. Mum's not back yet? They inquire. Not yet, sorry, but they're on track to return later tonight. Probably past your bedtime, though, I'm afraid, the man says before looking back at his pair of kids. Wanna pet the doggy? He asks them. Katie and John both nod quickly. Well, you're going to have to ask first. Why don't you ask SJ and Jamie if that's okay? Jackie says, giving a hand gesture to the dog and the two non-Terran kids. Falling into conflicted unease, the girls wearily move around their father. Both seem to be more concerned about the doting bat boy over the literally venomous insectoid snake. Granted, the encoding is actively at work and they've met SJ before, making it clear who they are most nervous about. Before either has the chance to speak up, their father gets down on one knee and holds both of their shoulders. It's not your fault that you're scared, but Jamie is probably going to be seen a lot around here in the future. I don't want to push you girls too hard on this, but he's a good kid. Just look at him adoring his doggy, he's a lot like you. Please try to get to know him and make him feel welcome here, okay? He whispers to the two of them. Okay, Dad, Katie mumbles, while John simply nods. Thanks, girls, you're doing me proud, Jackie assures, before letting them go ahead. Katie, being the bolder of the two, takes the initiative as she approaches closer to the three others. Hello, SJ. Hi, Jamie. My name is Katie and my sister is Jan. Is it okay if we pet your doggy too? She introduces nervously. SJ nods without hesitation. Hi, they greet. However, neither girl takes another step as they await the Manarian's response. Jamie's plumes twitch at the girl's voice, his primary method of attention drawn. Though to the young Terrans it looks as though he's practically ignoring them. Shroom, he says, as his tail grasper points to the dog. Likes pet, he adds cheerily, before demonstratively scratching in several spots that causes the animal to contentedly close her eyes and repeatedly stamp her tail to the floor. Helping their brother in this social situation that he's oblivious to, SJ nods again and encouragingly waves the girls over. Jamie, nice, they promise. Taking this as full permission, Katie and Jan cautiously walk up and reach out hands, to pet the dog's long mohawk of fur. "Likes pet," Jamie says in an "I told you so" tone, before laughing. Watching over, Jackie furrows his brow as he figures the boy was either oblivious to the twins' fear of him, or simply didn't mind it. If it's the former, the poor kid is going to have a tough conversation with his folks in the near future, once he's more equipped to understand why. Jroom gently turns her head to aggressively sniff the girl's head fur, causing their moves to lift fairly dramatically. "That tickles," Jiang cries out in a laugh, as the dog moves her last sniffer to the side of the girl's head, causing Jiang to reflexively lift her shoulder to hide her neck and ear. "She is deciding who to eat first," Jackie teases. "No, she's not, Dad," Katie counters, already over how her father teases them. Jroom then moves on from the Terran and back to the Manarian to lick at his face, hoping to get a taste of the sloppy boy's last meal. Right as the slurp storm begins, he is quick to fully bury his giggling face into the side of the animal to save himself. Though that didn't stop her from grooming the top of his head fur. Laughing in muffles, the boy uses his wing graspers to push Jroom's head away from his, so that he can look to Seven. "Pizza?" he asks. But before the bot can respond, Katie perks up in excitement. "You get to eat pizza for breakfast? Lucky," she says in a huff. Although he's allowed pizza fairly often, I do keep him on a specific nutritional diet. The word pizza has been his shorthand for requesting a meal in general, Seven clarifies. "Oh," Katie responds in disappointment. Not heard by anyone else in the room, Day speaks to Seven through the direct line they have maintained since the beginning of the wedding. "Dude, brah, my non-binarical machine comrade. The little garlic fiend needs every boost he needs to make some amigos. Don't be a bummer." Seven's three cranial lights blink in a circle once before they speak up again. "But if you two wish to stay longer, and if your father deems it alright, I can prepare you all a morning meal of pizza," they offer, as they turn to look at Jackie for permission. "Really? Can we, Daddy? Please?" Katie pleads, as she clasps her hands together. Although silent, Jiang hugs the dog and gives big begging eyes to help in her sister's cause as well. Jackie sighs and scratches at the back of his head. "I don't know. Are you sure you want to stay longer?" he questions. He already knows what his answer is going to be, but he thinks this is a good chance to subtly remind his girls of how many times the two made him promise that this visit would be brief before arriving. Katie moves around the dog and hugs the Manarian toddler, picking him up off his feet. Jamie is very surprised by this, but lets out a laughing giggle at the realization that this fellow child no longer seems to be giving him fearful vibes. Impressed by the meager potential promise of pizza conquering an ancient encoding bestowed by a malicious empire of the stars, Seven stares at the man in great anticipation for the answer. "I guess you can, as long as you'll continue to mind your manners," Jackie concedes, noting to himself to call Donna to update her on the positive progress. Even if it is food motivated, it's a perfect way for his girls to get used to the Manarian. "Thank you, Daddy," both girls squeal in a cheering outburst, causing Jamie to reflexively cover his plumes with his ears. "Girls," Jackie says in a cautioning tone, reminding them of Jamie's sensitive hearing. "Sorry," Katie whisper yells, while Jiang swiftly covers her mouth with both of her hands. "It's okay, just be mindful, alright? And remember, no touching his ears either. It'll hurt him a lot, okay?" the man says with his arms crossed. "It's like if someone jabbed a bunch of needles in the sides of your head." Both girls scrunch their faces in empathetic ghost pain. "Ouchie," Jiang mumbles. "Ouchie is right. Also, don't be too rough with SJ. Their legs can grow back, but that doesn't mean losing them hurts any less. But feel free to play if they want to. Now, I gotta give your mum a call real quick, Jackie replies, before activating his lens and walking over to the dining table. I'll begin work on the pieces. Do you two have any favourite toppings? Seven inquires. I like duck and pepperoni, Katie informs right away, though her twin hesitates before answering. I like black olives and pepperoni and banana peppers. Not bananas, though, John says shyly. Understood. Seven nods, before turning to the now sitting man. And you, Jackie? I'm good with plain cheese, but if you have it, I'll have another of what John wants, he replies, thankful, before returning to his call. The bot nods again and rolls off towards the kitchen area to begin Operation Pizza Breakfast. So, what do you guys want to play? Katie asks the boy in her arms and his retarded sibling. SJ wonders what would be best to play with fully new playmates. You like fit games? They propose. You have fit games too? Katie says a bit too loud while holding the Venerian. Sorry. She immediately apologizes, feeling the look of her father is giving the back of her head. I like fit games. Which ones do you have? Jung says. SJ nods before tilting his head over to show them. Mum got us lots, they inform excitedly, as they lead the others to the media station. Don't play anything too violent, please, Jackie calls after them, knowing exactly which mum the Wataff is referring to. Sorry about the bite last night, Simone says as she and Chuck cuddle together. Their guts are stuffed with bacon, Cali-safe pancakes and fried eggs, and cosily clean after a cramped but very pleasant shower together. Now they are bundled in thick blankets as they watch some of their favourite movies. It's alright, love, really, Chuck assures. Not to bring up stuff in our escape from things, but I think the fragmented Benarian in my brain is messing with me a little, the redhead admits. Ow? Chuck asks in concern as she looks at Simone. In what way? Well, biting during adult fun time is a thing I've done before, but not like what I did earlier. It felt different, compulsive in a way that I've never felt before. I know for a fact that Manarian influence is there when I'm with Jamie, certain lovely instincts that don't apply to Terrans. And remember when I jumped to that shuttle's roof during that kidnapping the Zartuk ambassador's son crap? Like, I see myself doing something that dumb, for sure, but when I did it I had flashes of the utmost confidence, as if I instinctively knew gravity wouldn't be a problem for me, Simone explained. As though you thought you had wings, Chuck clarifies with a question. Exactly. When I talked about maybe extracting the encoding info stuff with Vermis, they seem very confident that unless more of Shara is put together, then she has no chance of taking over, but there's still a lot of her operating in the background of me. Like we're woven together now and even removing her would be a big pain. I guess I'm kind of freaked that one day I won't be so lucky if the Manarian logic kicks in, you know? Simone says with a shrug. That is concerning, I must admit. Perhaps once things calm down long term for us, Vermis can gradually pick away at Shara. At least enough to avoid the most concerning habits, Chuck replies. Yeah, may just have to. Though her scrambled self in me did lead us to Jamie, so I can't complain too much. I think I could start speaking Manarian on purpose if I really tried, though I'm not sure if that would be helpful to separate the languages in my head, or if that could progress things, the redhead wonders. I say, before committing to anything, be sure to receive advice from both Dave and Vermis on the matter. We'll figure it all out, love, I promise, the princess says, as she fully snuggles back up to her Terran. You're right, Simone agrees. Choking out horridly viscous fluid, burning lungs taking air for the very first time, even though the memory of doing it before exists. Cole is caught just before he hammers to the ground, in his fit to clear out his system. Remain calm, breathe slowly. We're going to flush you out completely, a voice informs him, though he cannot see through the intensely bright light that invades him whenever he attempts to open his literally glazed eyes. He attempts to speak, before a pulse of fluid fires up his esophagus. Too bewildered by everything going on at the moment, he goes limp, trying to remember where he is or what's happening. But the last thing that comes clear is the visage of a battle-worn and defeated Simone Thatch, dying in his grip over her neck. Then, a blurry, foggy recollection of glowing red eyes, but it's unclear to him what that could possibly be. Then his jaw clenched. "Harkon," he internally growls, at the recollection of the Admiral ordering a full retreat from New Earth. Something happened to him because of Harkon's cowardice. Perhaps something knocking him out. "Harkon!" he roars, forcing his eye open in hopes to catch sight of the old fool. But all he can perceive is bleary blurs. "He is not here, husband," a familiar, overwhelmed voice informs him. "Glader?" he rasps out, before falling into another coughing fit. "All will be explained, Cole. Just let these people do their job. The news I have to give you will both be disturbing and, well, you'll like one piece of it greatly. But for now, let them get you cleaned up." Cole shakes his head. "New Earth. Glader. Did we take it? Just answer that now," he orders. "No, we did not," Glader answered, causing Cole to slump before being helped into a shallow tub. Sight mostly returning to normal, Cole looks down at his arms as he turns them over while inspecting them. The wear and tear of a lifetime, completely erased and refreshed with a blank slate. Otherwise, his muscle mass is surprisingly identical, if not more refined. "A clone," he says, in horror and awe. "Yes," Glader answers, "but I've been told by Amber that your consciousness is not a copy. Those things we had transplanted in our heads, well, they apparently constantly remotely uploaded your mind in a linked tether, so it's all still you. After you perished, the line was cut, so that's why your memory may be cut off just before you landed," his wife explains. But his horror doesn't subside. In fact, it seems to deepen. "Husband, I know it's a lot to take in, but..." Glader starts to say before Cole whispers something in his deep, thunderous voice. "I remember more than that." "How much more?" the woman asks. "I landed, fought and was killing Thatch. Then, red eyes. I remember rage and shame. Someone killed me, and that someone wasn't worth dying to," he mutters. Glader tilts her head as she places a hand on the man's shoulder, but he pulls away from it harshly. "Who was it?" Cole growls, as his hands clench. "The Callie princess," Glader answers immediately. "A fucking Callie," Cole utters, though not in response to his wife, but rather a reflex of memory. It's still unclear, but the red eyes in his thoughts take on a more sensical form. A Callie in golden power armor. "I remember," he says, as he stands up from the medical bed. Amber said that you wouldn't," Glader comments. "Perhaps she was wrong in that assumption." "I don't care about that," Cole dismisses, before looking at his wife, although his gaze clearly strikes right through her. "What remains of the children of Gaia?" he demands to know. A spark of excitement ignites behind Glader's returning stare. "Our losses were significant in the botched annexation of New Earth. However, it was mostly of the unproven, and our fleets are all but intact," she reports. Cole gives a single nod, glad to have his forces still standing. "There's more you need to know. Much more," Glader says with a raised hand, knowing that his mind may dedicate itself to something. "Harkon is no more. Ember slayed him herself, and now she parades his face to keep up appearances, and the Combine united. Before you awoke, she informed me that plans are now underway. Big, new, glorious plans. New Earth is for the time being out of our grasp, but soon it may not be. As we speak, the universe is getting primed to ignite a fire, and in the chaos, in those flames, we can seize what we desire most. Cole's sight then starts to fully meet his wife, rather than through her. Then a future for our people is yet possible, he realizes, before turning to dress himself in clothes his wife brought in. May the children of Gaia follow in my footsteps, burned in the flames of war, only to rise again from the ashes and stardust. We will persist, we will endure, no matter what it takes, no matter how many others fall. That is nature. Those most suited to persist will outperform the rest and thrive. Welcome back, Cole, Chief of the Children of Gaia. Glader smiles zealously. There's much to arrange and prepare for. We must be ready to act at just the right moment. Now, tell me everything you know, and then take me to Ember, where she will fill in the rest, he orders. You will not make the same mistake twice, Ember told Sam, as she stood in front of the reconstructed cyborg. I spent much time and resources in proving that you are worth investing in. Unfortunately, it's looking as though you may all be failures. 4 of you already failed your lessons. How can I possibly justify your existence to the Empire with such abysmal performance? She asked, but did not expect or want an answer for. Fail again, and you won't be coming back a 3rd time. This whole project will be scrapped for something more worthwhile. I'm not afraid to bend my vision, to which I hope you remember what that is. To save humanity. Ember steps closer to the cyborg, nearly touching their covered faces. I no longer care about collateral. You will take a team, and do what must be done to either completely eliminate Simone Thatch or bring me her brain. The latter is by far preferable, even if that means it arrives in a damn tin bucket if need be. The Empire cannot have it under any circumstances. Am I being clear? This time, Sam nods her head once in confirmation. Good. Select your team and get it done. The universe will be under chaos very soon, so you'll have ample opportunity to take advantage of that. You're dismissed, Ember commands, watching the cyborg turn off and march to do as ordered.